It's been quite some time since we've been able to review a new Kenwood radio, and this is a good one. This is Kenwood's DMX809S, a double-DIN digital media head unit with key features like wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto, HDMI input, 5-volt preouts, and much more. So stay with us as we review, unbox, and demo this head unit. Hey, what's up? It's Josh here from Breakers Stereo and Performance. Welcome to our channel that reviews and demos all the greatest in car audio, performance, suspension, and more, because we don't drop stock. And if you're like us, where stock doesn't cut it, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Okay, if you've never joined us for a head unit review, let me first off say thanks for joining us, and let me explain exactly how we do this. So first we're gonna go over some key features, then we'll unbox, then we'll turn it on and give it a quick demo so you can see this thing in action. And finally, we'll go over the pros and cons along with our overall rating. Okay, let's do this. So this is a Kenwood Echelon unit, model number DMX809S. Now some people have asked, what do the model numbers mean? Okay, let me explain. Now radios with the DMX designation are digital media players mechless, meaning no disk drive. The radios with the DDX are digital media players with disk drive, and the navigations all start with either DNR or DNX. So this is a DMX unit. Again, digital media mechless. On the DDX, the first D stands for digital media and the second D is disk. And the N here stands for navigation. So the first number is where it falls in the lineup. So the higher the number, the higher in the lineup. This radio has an 8, so it's second from the top, and the top would be the 9 series. Then the 09 is a generation. So all the current double-DIN radios all end in 09. Okay, hope that helps. Now this plays media loaded with MP3, WMA, and AAC music files, plus high-res WAV and FLAC files on a USB drive. Also, the 6.75 capacitive touchscreen HD display will support up to 1920 by 1080 on certain formats on a USB, like MPEG 2 and 4. But the HDMI input that this radio has will only go up to 720, so if you're planning on mirroring your phone through the HDMI, it will only do up to 720. Okay, make note of that. This does have an HD tuner built in. Smart features include wired and wireless Android Auto and wired and wireless Apple CarPlay. You can use Waze with the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, Siri voice control for iPhone, and compatible with Google Assist voice control when using your Android. Of course, Bluetooth hands-free calling and music streaming. Rapid charge on the Android via the USB port, and this has a 13-band graphic equalizer along with time alignment. It also includes drive EQ and digital sound processing with 2- and 3-way crossovers. Sirius XM ready, tuner not included, steering wheel control ready, adapter not included, and your inputs include a rear USB, 2 camera inputs, front and rear, and an AV input that can be converted to a 3rd camera input. Outputs include rear video output, 6-channel preouts, 5 volts, front, rear, and sub, and this head unit is 22 watts RMS times 4 or 50 watts times 4 peak. This works with the iDataLink Maestro RR or the RR2 modules. That retains the factory features in a wide selection of vehicles, displaying engine performance data, etc. And because it's an Echelon product, it comes with a 2-year warranty. Okay, let's unbox. All right, let's check it out. All right, so here's what's in the box. You have a GPS antenna that's going to be used when you're using your navigation apps through your smartphone, either Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Separate microphone. You got a trim ring here. This is your main harness, okay? And this light green wire right here, what this is this is for your parking brake. So you have to wire this to your parking brake so you have full access to the settings. Owner's manual, and then you get some mounting screws and also some keys to pull it out of the cage. All right, so Kenwood is one of the only companies that actually give you a cage. So you can cage mount this. I don't think Alpine does it anymore. Pioneer definitely doesn't do it anymore. They have it as an option, so you can buy that. I believe it's about 50 bucks. The Kenwoods, they give you a cage and a trim ring. So that's good. So I'll just go ahead and slide the cage out. All right, so this is our radio here. It's shallow mount, so that makes it a lot easier when installing. And on here you have the buttons on the side, okay? So this is that 6.75. There's 7-inch ones or the 6.95. Units have buttons on the bottom, so this has The button's on the side here. All right, so let's take a look at the back of this thing. Okay, so here's your HDMI input. This is a micro HDMI, so you would basically unscrew this, take the plate off, plug in your cable, and then you would have your HDMI input there. This is the input for the GPS antenna. Here you have your rear camera input, and then you have an AV output. So let's say if you have headrest monitors or an overhead monitor, you can link the two together. Now make note, if you're playing video through your HDMI input, this will not output to that screen. It only will do analog. So in that case, if you wanted to do that, you would use the AV input here, and there's a cable that you would have to buy that gives you audio and video input. And then from there, whatever you're inputting through there will transfer through the video out to your second monitor. Your main harness is here. You have your iData link inputs are here, Sirius input here, and then you have your RCA outputs, front, rear, and sub. Again, these are 5-volt preouts. This is for the parking brake wire. This is for the reverse wire. You have your microphone input, and then this is your front camera input, AM, FM antenna input, and then your USB input. All right, so this is our home screen. If we tap here, we can go to all the sources available. So here we have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Bluetooth, telephone, USB, HD radio, Sirius XM, then you have your mirroring and HDMI. From this menu, you can also go to setup. From here, you have your audio setup. So let's just go ahead and go to EQ. All right, so there's our 14-band graphic equalizer. You have a couple different presets here, and then you can adjust as well, so you can customize it. You have your bass EXT here, subwoofer level, I believe up to 10, and then it also goes into the negative as well. Next, you have sound effect. So we have our loudness, bass boost, drive equalizer, space enhancer, supreme realizer, and then stage EQ. So the stage EQ, let's talk about that. So here you can set how you want the sound, either to be staged high, mid, or low. Balance fade, we won't go through that. Then you have speaker and crossover. So from here, you can select the type of vehicle that you're working with, or just simply leave it off. Let's just go to compact here. And then from here, we can select on the front speakers, the position of the speakers. So on the dash, under dash, lower door, on dash. And then here we can select the size. So 6.5, so on and so forth, 5-inch, 4-inch, okay? And then on the tweeter, you can select small, middle, or large. And then here's where you select the crossover. So here you can set the tweeter gain, but only in the negative, the overall gain. And then here you can select your crossover point and then also your slope, right? So 6, 12, 18, 24. All right, let's go back. And then you could do obviously the same thing with the rear, okay? And then the sub. Okay, next you have time alignment. So here you have some presets. So if you just want to set it to the front left, front driver, you're good to go there, or front focus. Also, if you want to adjust it yourself, you can do so here by measuring the center of the speaker to the focused area for all the speakers, including the sub. And then you have volume offset. So this gives you the ability to adjust each source individually. So let's say the radio is not loud enough when you go from Apple CarPlay to radio, you can turn the radio up, or vice versa. So you have the ability to do that. So when you're switching through sources, the volume will not be extreme on one. So the volume will be equal as you're moving around your sources. All right, here you have display, your dimmer. You can customize this in this menu, so you can select the background that you want, the panel color, and then the home screen design. Okay, so it looks like you can upload here into no image. So you should be able to pop in a thumb drive with the image on it and then upload the image from there. Demonstration on off. Home customization will allow you to move these around. So if you'd rather have, let's say, AV in there, you can do that and then select however you like on your home screen. Screen adjustment, adjusting the color, and also viewing angle. So here you can select a degree. So if you got more of a pitch in the dash, you're able to adjust that, and that will change the brightness for that angle so it's better at those angles. Okay, input, you have your front camera, rear camera. All right. So if we turn that on, front camera interruption, you can turn on or off. Okay, your rear camera. Okay, guidelines. So you can adjust the guidelines here if you like. Okay, next system. Language, clock, format, time zone. Okay, let's scroll down, see what else we got. Okay, not much there. All right. Okay, if you hit the button below it, that's the menu. So these will pop up here, so you have easier access to some of these. So let's say you want to go screen adjustment, then you can simply go to that. If you want to go to the camera, It'll do that, front camera, and then setup brings us back to that menu we were just in. Okay, and then Apple CarPlay. All right, this does have voice control. If you tap this button, this will activate Siri. If you're on your iPhone, it will activate Google Assist if you're using an Android. All right, so let's just go ahead and go into Apple CarPlay. Most of you guys are already familiar with this, so I'm not gonna go into depth, but you do have your main music apps, Pandora, Spotify, Apple Music, and then for navigation, Google Maps, Apple Maps, and then you also have Waze as well. Communication apps, so your standard text messaging, WhatsApp, Skype, Zoom, Telegram. All right, we'll take a look at Android Auto. Here you have your apps that apply, mapping, messaging, and music. So you got Google Maps here. You tap this button here, this will activate Google Assist. All right, and then from there you can tell it what you want it to do. All right, so that's pretty basic. Let's go ahead and take a look at the HDMI input on this. All right, so we go to Home, select HDMI. I'm going to select the HDMI here and OK. All right, so I'm mirroring off my iPhone. Let's go ahead and check out some video apps here. All right, so when you're using HDMI, there's no restrictions as far as streaming video. All right, so I'm taking a look at the picture. It's a little washed out on the white. I think we can adjust that though here. So that's nice. That gives you picture adjustment right there. I don't think that had that before. You have to go into the menu and find it. Nice that it has the easy access. So I'm going to go ahead and take the tint down. Okay, so the brightness is like all the way up, so that's definitely why it's all washed out. So let's pull that down as well. We'll give the tint back a little more here, and then we'll see what it looks like. I wish that it had the video running at the same time, and then you're able to adjust, but does not have that. All right, looks like it needs a little more color. So let's go back to picture adjustment. I'm gonna punch in some more color here, and then we'll see what it looks like here. Okay, a little better. I still think we need more color. So let's take the brightness down even more. I don't think we need that much brightness there. All right, so that's definitely better. Okay, so that looks good. Again, this is 720 that's coming through. It's a smaller screen, 6.75. So the sharpness is there. It looks good. Happy with the way the picture looks. And again, if you want to do this, make sure you get a micro HDMI. So your standard HDMI, and then from there, if you're using an iPhone, it's an HDMI to lightning cable. If you're using an Android, then it's going to be HDMI to USB-C. All right, hope that helps. Now overall, the user interface on this, it's okay. It's kind of what you're used to with these radios, not super flashy. So they did change it slightly. So it's in line with kind of what's going on for the 2023 year models. Not a whole lot different than that as far as I can see. I believe you do have some extra audio adjustments here, you know, such as the way the crossovers are, car settings, speaker size, and whatnot. So the lower end ones don't have that, whereas this one does. But visually, as far as the user interface is concerned, it's not like wow, but you know, it does the job and it's pretty basic. As far as responsiveness is concerned, there is a slight delay when you jump from one to the next. When you're doing the EQ, I mean, you've got some delay there. Looks like it kind of has to catch up. On some of the better units, you were able to just kind of run your finger across it and it will adjust. As you can see, you got some delay there. All right, but we're talking about, you know, the $1,000 up units, floating panel units that are, you know, can get up to $1,600. So, you know, this is 550, so that's kind of to be expected. This is 550, so it's not quite as much. Slightly delayed when you're jumping around here, but definitely acceptable. All right, pros and cons, starting with the pros. HDMI input, iData link compatible, 5-volt preouts, 3-way crossovers. Also, 2 camera inputs with the option of a 3rd camera on the AV input, and also the HT tuner built in. All right, now cons. Now my only real complaint is the software and some of the features on this radio haven't changed since the last generation of Exelon radios. And I think I speak for a lot of viewers when I say we would like something new and a little more eye-catching, modern, and maybe more responsive. But on the other hand, I get that it takes a lot of money to develop that. And radio sales aren't what they used to be, because a lot of the new cars already come equipped with touchscreen displays and great features. But beyond that, for $549, it's a great radio, and that's why we're gonna give this radio a 4.5-star rating. Now, Kenwood is known for great sound quality, and the Exelon series units with their 5-volt preouts are amongst the best on the market. That'll do it. We hope you enjoyed this video. If so, give us a thumbs up Also, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. My name is Josh. I'm with Breaker Stereo and Performance. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.